How's it going, everybody? It's Warren. Welcome back to the Cosmic Wonder, where we talk all things Marvel and Marvel's Cinematic Universe, and we've had quite a bit of Spider-Man 3 news come out over the past week or so. A lot of leaked photos and videos for Spider-Man 3 have come out, some revealing an old villain. Also talks about Tom Holland's future after Spider-Man 3, Spider-Man 4, and a new deal between Marvel, Disney, and Sony. And of course, some updates about Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire being a part of Spider-Man 3. So first, let's talk about Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire in Spider-Man 3, a little bit of an update because I know everybody is eagerly awaiting some news about that. Now, it has been reported that Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire have already filmed or are currently filming scenes for Spider-Man 3. However, fans are getting a little discouraged because we've seen leaked photos and leaked videos now for Spider-Man 3 of Tom Holland, of Zendaya. We even got some recent ones of Tom Holland in a Spider-Man suit, but we've seen nothing of the other Spider-Man. But that does not mean that they are not going to be in the movie. In fact, there's a perfectly good explanation for this. Prior to Christmas and the holidays, most of all of the shooting took place at Pinewood Studios, a studio that is indoors. So if Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield have been filming for Spider-Man 3, that's why we haven't seen anything yet. And that just makes perfect sense. Marvel's trying to avoid any and all spoilers that the multiverse and Spider-Verse are going to be a factor in Spider-Man 3. Despite all of these reports from very credible outlets, Marvel and Sony have yet to come out and say, yep, it's a Spider-Verse film. And they're going to do everything that they can to avoid any spoilers for this movie. However, in the upcoming weeks, they are going to be filming at a different studio at an incredibly huge set that is apparently bigger than 4 football fields, and it's going to be outdoors. So if Andrew and Tobey have any scenes that haven't been filmed yet and are going to be shot at this location, then we'll definitely be able to get some leaked photos in the upcoming weeks. Fingers crossed on that one. Then moving on to the Spider-Man 4 news with Tom Holland. It's been reported by the Daily Mail that there is going to be a Spider-Man 4 with Tom Holland, and of course there is. We knew this before going into Spider-Man 3 that Tom Holland had 2 movies left on his contract, but we also knew that Sony and Disney had just recently made a new contract for Spider-Man in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And we knew that this meant, most likely, more films. Tom Holland's Spider-Man is one of the most successful Marvel characters in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and he's extremely important to Disney and Marvel and Sony as well, but it's also very important to keep him within the MCU. So of course there's going to be a Spider-Man 4 film, as is being reported right now, but there are going to be more films than just one more. Not only will we have a Spider-Man 4 film, but before that we're going to have a team-up film, such as an Avengers film, where Spider-Man participates as well. And in fact, we'll most likely have a Spider-Man 5 and 6. There is reports right now going around that Marvel, Sony, and Disney are working out yet another new deal. This is no doubt due to the massive success that Spider-Man has had and the massive talk and hype around Spider-Man 3 right now. Obviously, both studios have noticed how big Spider-Man is to the whole entire fan base. So of course, they're not just going to let that go, let Spider-Man 3 and then the team-up film be the last films of Spider-Man. No, Spider-Man is going to be around for a while, and right now there are reports that we're going to be seeing Spider-Man, Tom Holland's Peter Parker, during his college years. So up until now, we've only seen him in high school, but Spider-Man 4, 5, and 6 are rumored to show him in his college years. This would be extremely cool because it's not something that we've ever really seen before. And a lot of people really want to see Tom Holland's Peter Parker be independent, not rely on somebody like he's relied on Tony Stark. Happy, and now apparently in the upcoming Spider-Man 3 film, Doctor Strange. A lot of people want to see him on his own, and that's what we could be getting with the next upcoming Spider-Man films with Tom Holland. And last but not least, as I mentioned, we've had plenty of new Spider-Man 3 leaked photos come out, one of them showing Mysterio in the background of one of the photos in the form of a flyer. If we take a look at this leaked photo, we can see a bunch of flyers on the wall in the background. And this is what they actually have on them, a picture of Mysterio saying, "I believe," and up top, "spoke truth." Now, this actually tells us a little bit about the film. The "I believe" on the bottom means that there are people out there who truly do believe what Mysterio said. At the end of Far From Home, Mysterio released a video via the Daily Bugle stating that Spider-Man was the villain and he was the one that attacked him and unleashed the elementals on the world. He then revealed that Peter Parker was Spider-Man. Now, what's interesting is that at the top right it says spoke truth, and at the bottom it says I believe. Now, what this means is that there are indeed some people out there who don't believe what Mysterio said, because if everybody believed Mysterio, why would you make flyers? This flyer is made to make people believe Mysterio was telling the truth. It's made to convince people that Peter Parker is bad, that he's Spider-Man, and that he actually attacked and killed Mysterio. This is good news for Peter because that means that a lot of people, enough for people to make flyers to try to convince, do believe that he is innocent and that Mysterio was in fact lying. Now, this could mean that Peter ends up going to court but ends up being proven innocent. There are talks of Matt Murdock, aka Daredevil, showing up, but there are talks about him just showing up as a lawyer and not actually Daredevil. It could be that Matt Murdock is the one who proves Peter Parker innocent. After all, he does have a lot of experience in keeping a secret identity a secret. In fact, comicbook.com has reported that Charlie Cox, who of course played Matt Murdock / Daredevil in the Netflix Daredevil series, has already finished filming for Spider-Man 3. Now, he most likely filmed at Pinewood as well, which again is indoors, which is most likely why we haven't seen any leaked photos of him, even though there were rumors that he was spotted on set. But this confirmation that Charlie Cox will be in Spider-Man 3 as Matt Murdock, combined with these posters, do lead me to believe that at some point in time, Peter Parker might go to trial and Matt Murdock will defend him and get him proven innocent. Then people are going to be very upset about that because they believe Mysterio, and that's when these flyers will come into play. Also, touching on Mysterio, there has been reports that Spider-Man is going to be facing the original Sinister Six in Spider-Man 3. Mysterio is a part of that original Sinister Six. It's Sandman, Vulture, Dr. Octopus, Electro, Kraven the Hunter, and Mysterio. Now, it's already reported that Sandman and Dr. Octopus from the Sam Raimi Spider-Man universes will be coming into play in Spider-Man 3. And of course, it's been reported that Jamie Foxx's Electro from the Amazing Spider-Man universe will be in Spider-Man 3 as well. Then Vulture already exists within our main Spider-Man universe right now, and it's been rumored that Kraven is going to be one of the villains of Spider-Man 3 for a very long time now. So we essentially have the original Sinister Six with the exception of Mysterio because he's believed to be dead, but I actually don't think he's dead, and I do believe he'll be returning to join the Sinister Six to face off against Peter Parker. And I actually think this is going to be a very pivotal moment for Peter Parker and Spider-Man moving forward in future films. Because if people see Mysterio out in the open, specifically fighting against Spider-Man, of course they'll know that Mysterio isn't actually dead and Peter Parker didn't actually kill him. Therefore, all of the people who may not believe that Spider-Man is good could have a change of heart since clearly Mysterio had been lying, and that could clear Peter Parker's name once and for all, which is something that we do need moving forward, because if we are going to explore Peter Parker's story even further and he's going to just exist in the world, going to college, having a job, etc., he can't be a wanted man the entire time, so his name will have to be made clean. Something that I do believe will happen in Spider-Man 3, whether that's Mysterio returning or not. So a lot of big things happening within the Spider-Man universe, not just with Spider-Man 3, but future Spider-Man films as well. Again, they're going to start shooting at a different, insanely huge studio outside within the upcoming week, so hopefully we get some new leaked photos relatively soon, so be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of the latest Spider-Man 3 news. Don't forget to like the video, and for live updates, you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter. As always, thank you all so much for watching. Woof woof.